All right, so we are continuing the 613 mitzvot. And now the second mitzvah is on the parashat Lech Lecha, where the mitzvah is the mitzvah of Brit Milah, the circumcision, which is a very fascinating mitzvah, which can really be, speak about it for a few years. So Avram is told to circumcise himself when he's told to have a bris with Hashem, which is a covenant. And the question is, what's the bris milah? The bris milah obviously is a covenant with God, a covenant that in the flesh, meaning, and why at that specific place in the sexual organ. It's a very strange place. You could have the maybe be at the ear. So the first thing is that God wants us to have an eternal sign, something that goes in our flesh that doesn't disappear, that's there all the time, that is a clear sign between us and the nation, because once this happens, that's it. Our soul, once we convert, our soul becomes synchronized, have a special connection with the spiritual world, with God, in a way that is different than the other nations, because we become responsible. Now it's like as if someone who becomes president now has a status that is different than anyone else because of that special responsibility he took upon himself. Doesn't mean necessarily he's better than anyone else, but because he had that, like a soldier who has served in the U.S. military or navy, whatever, he's buried in special places, special cemeteries, and their death, their burial is going to be different than other people. Is he better? Sometimes yes, sometimes no, sorry. But the reason he's there, because he had a special responsibility, he did something unique, and now it's attached to him, to his name forever. So when we decide to convert, we become Jewish, and we have that special thing connected to our soul, and that's that sign that shows we have a unique mission in this world, a unique responsibility, and we are reminded about it all the time wherever we go, even in the most mundane thing, even meaning that the reason it's connected to the sexual organ, which is the organ we hide the most, hopefully, is because even in the things that are most hidden in our lives, we have to connect our actions with the fact that we have a mission, with our mission in the world. Our main mission is to be Or LaGoyim, to be a light to the nations, to emulate God, in order that we can show the world that human beings are able to have a relationship with God. Judaism is not a religion, it's a relationship, it's a way of life where in the way I live, I'm able to live with God. I'm able to bring the spiritual in the physical, and that's why it had to be in one of the place that is the most animalistic. There's nothing more animalistic than eating and having children. Having intimacy, and that's why they say there's a bris lashon and a bris milah. The head, which has its own entity, so to speak, in the body, there's the head and the body. The head is very important. Technically, the head can live without the body, but there's the body and the head. We're not going to go into Kabbalistic stuff. The idea is that there's a bris lashon, there's a bris in the mouth, and there's a bris milah, and they are both connected. That's why they say someone who speaks negatively and dirty is going to end up having sexual sins, and vice versa. So the idea is that I have a bris, and I'm going to be now, everything I do physically and everything I say, I speak about, everything has to be connected to that special mission that I have in this world. Now, why specifically there? Another reason is because having a bris milah means that even in the area where I'm the most physical, I'm going to bring in God, meaning I'm going to use every desire, every physical passion, every Yetzer hara, every evil inclination, every mundane thing, which is not technically evil. It can lead to evil, the potential for evil, but it all depends how I use it. I can use sexuality for porn, or I can use sexuality for holiness and to bring Moshiach, and to be one with my wife on the highest level, with one with the Shekhinah. So this is the beauty, and that's why it's done there, that even in my things that is the most lowest, most physical, animalistic thing, even there I'm connected to God. But it's more than that. It's telling you, I love you, God, on the level of a husband who loves a wife. We have to become one with God on a tremendous level of intimacy. Meaning, what's that organ? That organ is the organ that enables me to connect to my wife, to connect, to be one. I use that as a tool to become one. So I use that tool. The way I should use myself, the human being. The human being itself, the body, if you stand straight like that, is that symbol, is that shape of the male organ. And the idea is that we are here to, like a valve. The valve is a connector. It's something that connects. It's Yesod. And I'm trying to connect to God. This is my purpose here, to be a connect to God. But the head, which is the corona, which is the head of the organ, so to speak, has to be revealed. The light has to be revealed, and therefore you uncover the physical. You uncover the filter, and you go out of Mitzrayim, and you connect now to God on the highest level. The only thing you think of is God. One of the reasons that is this membrane, that is the prepuce, and that is cut, we cut the tip of the skin, is because when with this skin we are very, very sensitive to physicality in intimacy. The sexual organ is very sensitive, and by cutting that part and revealing it, we are making that part less sensitive to physical and materialistic stuff. Right upon the touch, right, with the organ. So therefore, we learn to be careful and a little bit more disconnected from the Messiah Yesharim speaks about that. We have to not be too attached to those desires and physicality and those pleasures. If you want to be pure on the level of Tara, is to be kind of a little bit understand the lowliness of something physical, and not to be so into having physical pleasure. And therefore we reduce that sensitivity to learn to be more sensitive to the spiritual, to the purpose of the world, to the mission. So that's one of the idea of why, one of the lessons, how we can connect to God, how we can be a Jew. What's the purpose of being a Jew, and why is that place? We are here to have a bris with God. There's a bris with God, to be one with God, and to get married to God. That's the highest level of relationships, to be married to God. Now, this mitzvah has to be done right by a person, the father. Or the person, if the father is not here, then the person who is older can do it to himself. Obviously, it's not ideal. The mother can do it also, but it's ideal to have someone else, a moel, a professional, do it. Please use a professional. One of the things when we have to do it is we have to do it on the 8th day, right? We have to do it. It says, I was just double checking. Yeah, if the mitzvah is the father to do it, or the mother doesn't have the mitzvah to do it, she can obviously, but she doesn't have the mitzvah. But the father, and if the father is not here, the community, the religious community, because in a way we're as a community responsible for that child to be part of the community, which corresponds to the mitzvah, the first mitzvah we spoke about before, to bring people in the world to represent Hashem and all that, to bring Hashem down in this world. Now, interesting. So we have this mitzvah is done on the 8th day. Why the 8th day? Because 8 represents Milah min hateva. That's connected to what we just said before about being sensitive. 8 is the 7 is the cycle of creation, the 7 days of the week, the 7 notes of music, the 7 planets, whatever it is, this Kabbalistic stuff. But 8 is that we go beyond the natural cycle. Someone who does the Brit Milah, it shows him that he's able to go beyond nature, he's able to control the physical world, and he has that strength that enable him to transcend his physical nature. And that's why they say that someone who can control his sexual temptation is able to control basically any temptation, any test. Obviously, we're all different on test, but that's what's unique about that mitzvah, that is Milah min hateva. It enables you to connect to God as a Jew, and that's above the mazalot. That's why you can go above the stars, above the 7 planets, above the 7 sphirot, above the powers of Elohim. You connect to Yud Kei Vav Kei. Yud Kei Vav Kei, Yud Hei Vav Kei, the name of God, which is beyond Elohim, which is the God's powers, with the powers that God used to create this world. So Yud Kei Vav Kei, which is the highest name that created the world. The world was created with Yud Kei Vav Kei first, meaning this is the way the name of God, the highest essence that we can connect to, speak about in this world, and is Yud Kei Vav Kei. So 26 is the gematria of Yud Kei Vav Kei. What Yud 10, Hey is 5, Vav is 6, and Hey is 5, and that's 26. 26 is the in Mispar Katan. You take 2 plus 6 is equals 8. So when we are having a Brit Milah on the 8th day, we're showing that we can connect to the Yud Kei Vav Kei, and we can be controlling our Teva, our Elohim. We as human beings, technically, we're called Elohim if we are behaving the way we're supposed to, when we use all our spheres, all our powers in a harmonious way, because we are called Selem Elohim. But even though I'm a Selem Elohim, everybody's Selem Elohim. But when I do a Bris Milah, I'm able to connect as if I'm a Selem Yud Kei Vav Kei, so to speak. Right? This is a bit of a chidush. I think we have to ask the Mikubalim if they agree with that. But yes, the concept of Yud Kei Vav Kei, of men being Milah min hateva, that's definitely everybody agrees upon. And I think that's the most important part, and it has to do also with the fact that when we have children, having children is connected to the Bris Milah, so it's connected to the mitzvah that we had before. To have children in this world in a way that brings the more purpose to the world, one should be connected to God. That organ should be connected to God to bring a holy children, right? It makes sense. It's all connected. Last thing I want to say is, it says that the Sefer Chinuch, that although this commandment is a positive commandment, someone who doesn't do it is actually punished for not doing it. and two people are two mitzvahs are only like that. The circumcision and the Korban Pesach. If someone who doesn't eat for Korban Pesach do and eat the Korban Pesach and doesn't do Brit Milah, those are the two things that you are going to be punished, even though it's a mitzvah just to do it. It's not a mitzvah, Losa say not to do it, it's a mitzvah to do it. And so, okay, I didn't do it, it's okay, I didn't do it. But usually you're not punished for not doing something that you could do. Here, you're punished as if you did something wrong. And it's called Cavett. Cavett is like you're disconnected. Because you didn't connect yourself, and you connect your child on deeper level, because obviously it's connected to the soul. When we do something, our flesh, our 613 organs, parts of the body, are connected to the 613 part of our soul. Therefore, if I didn't fix that, I'm not able to connect my soul to the Jewish way to God, and therefore it's like I'm cut off. I'm not technically a Jew, connect to my Jewish potential, mission. And same thing with the Korban Pesach. The Korban Pesach is directly connected to that, because we know Pesach is when we became free of our old self, of being Hebrews or being in Egypt and becoming Jewish. Going out of Egypt is getting a Bris Milah, so to speak. Is going, right? It's connecting to God on a high level, going to Har Sinai to get married to Him. And we know that our Korban Pesach, one of the things they did, they all had to get circumcised. They all had to do blood. They all had to. There's two blood that was mixed: the blood of the Korban Pesach and the blood of Bris Milah. They all had to do that, and they were able to do it. So the Korban Pesach is intrinsically connected with the mitzvah of Brit Milah. So by them both doing that, doing the Korban Pesach and circumcision, that was kind of the nation choosing their mission, becoming part of their mission, transforming. It's a transformation phase. The Bris Milah transforms us, connects us to a high level, a higher mission. But again, remember, it doesn't make you better than anybody else. It just puts you into a special category in order to do that mission in this world. So I think we revealed enough secrets that we can use for our everyday life, and God willing, we'll continue next time.